welcome back. You see the tail here in the camera view? Here's what it's attached to. That's right, little Twitchy's here for another story. This one's pretty long, so if you need to go get a blanket and kick back and listen, you go ahead. I'll wait. Actually, you can just pause it. One of my very favorites, it's Winnie the Pooh and Pooh's Neighborhood. First of all, there's Winnie the Pooh, and there's Christopher Robin, his buddy. Quite, said Owl. Now I'm off for an owl's eye view. He flew up and circled once around Pooh's house. What does it look like from up there? Called Pooh. I can see the 100-acre woods spread out below me, said Owl, and it's a fine place indeed. As Owl flew off, Pooh began to think about what it means to live in a neighborhood, and he thought perhaps he would bring a neighborly present to his closest neighborhood, Piglet. He took a honey pot out of his cupboard and tied a nice blue ribbon around it. Here's Pooh Bear, the honey pot. Then he tucked it comfortably under his arm and stumped down the path towards Piglet's house. But when he reached his thoughtful spot, which is halfway between his house and Piglet's, Pooh suddenly had a thought. I could take this path straight to Piglet's house, or I could go up the path and around the whole neighborhood, and sooner or later, the path would take me to Piglet's house anyway. So that's what he did. After he had walked for a time, he came to the house where Kanga and Roo live. Hello, Kanga, said Pooh. I'm just out on my way to deliver this neighborly present to Piglet. But Pooh, dear, Piglet lives that way, said Kanga, pointing down the very path by which Pooh had came. Yes, said Pooh, but today I'm going the long way. Oh, I see, said Kanga. In that case, perhaps you should join us for a snack. Come on, Pooh, cried Roo. We're going to the picnic spot. Kanga and Roo and Pooh. Pooh said he was feeling a bit 11 o'clock-ish, so they all went together, past the sandy pit where Roo plays, up to the picnic spot to share a little something. Half an hour and one picnic basket later, Pooh thanked Kanga, tucked Piglet's honey pot back under his arm, and stumped down the path towards Rabbit's house. Hello, Rabbit, called Pooh. I'm on my way to Piglet's to give him his neighborly present. If you're going to Piglet's house, what are you doing here? Asked Rabbit. I'm going the long way, said Pooh. More like the wrong way, if you ask me, said Rabbit. But since you're here, would you mind taking these carrots to Christopher Robin? I promised he'd have them in time for lunch. Well, at the mention of the word lunch, Pooh noticed that his tummy was feeling just the tiniest bit rumbly. With carrots under one arm and a honey pot under the other, he walked along until he came to the place where the stepping stones crossed the stream. 1, 2, 3, 4, he counted as he teetered from stone to stone. 8 or 9 of Rabbit's friends and relations heard Pooh and peeked out their windows and doors. Pooh shouted, "Hello!" Rabbit's friends and relations waved. See, there they are, waving back at Pooh. Pooh marched across the open slopes of heather and up steep banks of sandstone until at last, tired and hungry, he arrived at Christopher Robin's door. "Oh, my carrots!" cried Christopher Robin happily. "Thank you for delivering them." "It seemed the neighborly thing to do," said Pooh proudly. Would you like to join me for lunch? Christopher Robin asked. And Pooh said, well, I really am on my way to Piglet's to bring him his present, but I don't see why I couldn't stop just for a little while. After lunch and a longish snooze, Pooh was back on his way. He walked down the path through the little pine wood and climbed over the gate into Eeyore's gloomy place, which was where Eeyore lived. Hello, Eeyore, said Pooh. I was just on my way to Piglet's house with this neighborly present. Not coming to visit me, said Eeyore. I didn't think so. It's been such a busy week already. Why, only 4 days ago, Tigger bounced me on his way to the swimming hole. How many visitors can you expect? Really? And Pooh, feeling rather badly now, offered Eeyore a nice lick of honey. Pooh opened the jar and Eeyore peered in. He looked back up at Pooh. Pooh peered in. Empty, he said. That's what it looked like to me, said Eeyore. Oh, bother, said Pooh. He stumped off glumly, trying to think how he was going to tell Piglet about the neighborly present Piglet was not going to get. Pooh had almost arrived at the place where the woozle wasn't and was deciding to take the long path around it just in case the woozle was when he saw Owl flying over. I've seen our whole neighborhood today, Pooh told him, but now I have no neighborly present left for Piglet. The bees have been quite busy at the old bee trait lately. Perhaps you can get a fill up there. Bees make honey. That's a good idea, Owl, but it's such a long ways, sighed Pooh. Come along, said Owl. We'll take the shortcut through the woods. Woo-hoo. So they walked together until they came to an open place in the middle of the forest, and in the middle of this place was the old bee tree. Pooh could hear a loud buzzing near the top. Up, up, up he climbed. Going up higher, called Owl, past the bees, to the very top of the tree. Now look all around you. What do you see? Hoo-hoo. The 100-acre wood was spread out below him. Our neighborhood, cried Pooh. Our beautiful home. Woohoo, that's the owl's eye view, said Owl grandly. Oh, I can see poor Piglet out sweeping his walk, said Pooh. Looks like he could use some company. And there's the 100-acre wood. Look at all the different little places where Winnie the Pooh went that day. Quite a nice day. Pooh's Neighborhood, that's tonight's story.